We're going to move across to the international press with Nicholas Rushworth. Hi there.
Hi, Cynthia.
Let's start off with some of the international papers' response to the latest developments in the wake of the Charlie Hebdo attacks.
Well, Kat, we've seen here in France a whole movement towards national unity, very much top of the agenda since the Charlie Hebdo attacks of, what is it now, almost 2 weeks ago. Now, the satirical weekly's decision to put the Prophet Muhammad on its front cover has seen violence in several countries, protests in several countries. Let's look at the front page of China Daily there. You can see Stop Charlie and the subheading Anti-Charlie Protest Flare. This is the front page, I remind you, of the China Daily. That picture is from Yemen. The message in Arabic there is you can say nothing about the Prophet apart from that he is the messenger of Allah. No depictions allowed. Let's go to another paper, the South Africa Times, which is having a picture, a striking photo there, a curse on Charlie Hebdo, where you can see it. Thousands rally in Pakistan against the Charlie Hebdo Muhammad cartoons and their curse for Charlie Hebdo. So the message there very much anger rising against what we see here in France as perhaps very much support for the victims of the attack of Charlie Hebdo.
And you said that picture was taken in Pakistan. We're going to stay with Pakistan for our next item. An article about trying to pin down the root causes of Islamist militancy. It's a problem that a lot of people are trying to grapple with.
Well, there's an article in one of the main Pakistani papers called Dawn, which is written by Munir Akram, a former Pakistani ambassador to the United Nations. And there you can see it, causes of Islamist militancy. Now, he is critical of governments in Muslim societies, saying that, well, they have failed to deliver on jobs and justice for young people. He criticised Muslim governments for not having the right policing, the right military and intelligence capabilities. He's saying there's political laxity in those governments. So very much striking there, really going against Muslim governments, also pointing out that certain actions by Western governments have been misguided. For an insight into that kind of comment about what Western governments have done or not, I look at this in L'Orient Le Jour, the Lebanese paper, which on its front page this Monday has a chronic piece saying Bashar al-Assad is laughing, le rire de Bashar al-Assad. Remember, Kat, François Hollande a few days ago saying the West didn't go into Syria, it's allowed the advance of radicalism in Syria by not doing so. And the argument there in L'Orient Le Jour is, well, isn't Assad simply saying to himself, at what point did the Western leaders come round to him, his way of thinking, and realising that he was right all along? When I read that piece, my shivers went through my spine. Really scary.
Very interesting piece going from neighbouring Lebanon. Well, sticking with what's happening in Syria, of course, we've been very worried here in Europe for quite some time, I think, about the number of people that are going off to fight war, wage jihad in Syria particularly. You've got the UK paper, The Independent, talking about what happens when these people come back home.
Well, normally you'd think in terms of policing and trying to prevent them from carrying out attacks. This story here is about a woman called Linda, who's 45 years of age, who's a Muslim convert, and she went to Turkey to get her son back. He's called James. There you can see the headline in The Independent. And she's saying, well, in fact, these people who are returning from Syria lack support. They're suffering post-traumatic trauma.
Though you might say it's self-inflicted if they've gone into a war zone of their own accord.
Indeed, it is a very striking piece, and it is not at all the angle you expect, is it? And the mum, Linda, of James, warns the British government, saying, if you do not address psychologically the trauma these people are facing, then you will be faced with Paris-style attacks. So a pretty strong angle there from The Independent this Monday.
So the idea being, like it or not, they are coming back, and we have to deal with it.
And you've got to rehabilitate them, yeah.
Very interesting, coming from a mother of one of those fighters, as you say. Now, you've got an article about one of our main stories that we've been following in the news today. We're talking about Nigeria, Boko Haram, not just launching attacks in Nigeria, launching more and seemingly more audacious attacks in neighbouring countries.
Well, the Boko Haram situation is frightening more and more so from day to day, isn't it? With now that problem not solely restricted to Nigeria. The Daily Trust front page, the Daily Trust being one of the main papers in Nigeria, there has this photo, Stop Boko Haram. That demonstration there is actually in Paris on Sunday. You can see the hashtag Je suis Nigérien, and very small. We can see bring back our girls. How long ago does that seem, Kat? Yeah. So Nigeria, in a very scary place for all of us. Very important, of course, that what happens there. Let's look at this article from the Daily Beast, which is saying that what we're seeing now is a new normal. Yes, on the one hand, a terror attack in Paris seems unthinkable, yet a massacre in Nigeria seems normal. And what we're seeing, as far as the Daily Beast is concerned, is very much a whole mentality where, okay, yeah, school shootings were once, they weren't so common, but now they're so common in America, it's become normal. It's become the new normal. And what are we seeing? Nigeria, 2,000 dead, that's a new normal. A
lot of criticism of the lack of coverage.
Indeed. Yeah. So the Daily Beast arguing very much, stop this now, because what we've got is that when we take on this new normal, we are going towards acceptance of something that is unacceptable. Kat, I so wanted for you to find you a happy ending to this press review, a nice cartoon, anything that would make life a bit lighter, but there wasn't anything out there. It was that bad. I've never ever seen anything like it. To end, I'm going to just look at one of the scariest stories. It's from the Israeli press, talking about a possible two-state solution for Europe. Remember, we talk about a two-state solution for the Middle East. So lots of scary stories out there for you, Kat.
That one that we can read on Ynet online. Thanks very much, Nicholas Rushworth, with that look through the international press.